Yes, Jim, with all the significance and all the symbolism that's been written about this week, it's just fantastic. Now we can get on with the rugby, and one heck of a rugby match we've got in our hands.
An island of borders and identities, of history marked by division, political, cultural, religious, Protestant and Catholic, Unionist and Nationalist, communities separated by history, but bound together by one jersey. 4 provinces, one team. One anthem that's not quite an anthem, one flag that's not quite a flag, but undoubtedly one singular rugby nation, and a nation that's been on an extraordinary rise. For generations, Irish rugby carried the weight of its past, proud, storied, respected, but seldom triumphant, capable of brilliance, yet rarely of sustained dominance. Then came the turning of the tide. The professional era reshaped everything, structures strengthened, pathways sharpened, a golden wave of talent emerged, players who were not just world-class but era-defining. Ireland were no longer just there to compete, they were here to win. 3 Grand Slams, 8 Triple Crowns, 6 championship titles, victory over giants of the Southern Hemisphere, hitting the top of the world rankings, a true modern rugby superpower. If only they could shake their World Cup quarter-final hoodoo, that is. This is an episode about Ireland and the Six Nations, and this is the Sporting Almanac podcast.
So, the English lads talking about the Irish. What could possibly go wrong?
I mean, we got away with it in Gaelic football. No one had too much of a go at us, so rugby's a bit closer to home. I think we're okay. Maybe.
Yeah. That's presumptuous. I'm not sure I share your confidence.
To be fair, and this is a huge generalisation, and please don't take it as factual. Like rugby union in Ireland is very much heavily linked to the sort of more Anglo-centric part of Ireland.
He's gone there.
Say?
He's gone there.
As in
the Protestants and the
as
Northern.
in the Protestant, colleges and universities.
I'm sure the people of Munster have really warmed to you.
No, I mean, this is a huge generalisation. Obviously, this is historic, and this is the origin story. And obviously, since then, it is a sport of the people. Of course, it is. It's a sport that is beloved across the country, and I don't need to defend myself because everyone's smart enough to know what I'm saying. But historically, different to the GAA sports is what I'm saying.
It is. There are some subtle differences between GAA and rugby union. Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
Like if you play rugby union, you can never play GAA ever again.
Well, I don't think they're quite as strict anymore, are they?
No, not anymore.
But yeah, certainly for a long time.
Not anymore. No.
To be fair, I think it was mainly soccer they were against. Although no, probably also rugby. To be fair, at least rugby was also amateur.
Yeah,
back at that point.
That's true. Common ground.
Anyway,
from there we can progress.
Indeed, yeah. Already off topic.
I mean, what can we say about Ireland? As a generalisation, I would say they're arguably underachievers, but
on the whole, yeah, for sure.
Like, maybe this is a better way. This is a coined phrase, like sleeping giants, but now awake.
Yeah. It's weird to think if your only experience of rugby, which to be fair, ours is to a certain extent, is the Six Nations era. Like we got the tail end of the Five Nations era. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember watching rugby while it was an amateur sport. It was before I had even really heard of it. I was just football at that point. Yeah, it's weird to think, looking back, that Ireland really weren't that successful prior to the start of the
dreadful
Six Nations. Relatively speaking, they were the worst team on the whole.
Can I give you the numbers?
Yeah, no, do, please.
They won it outright in 85. They shared a title in 83 with France. They won it outright in 82. Everyone shared it in 73, like we've said before.
Yeah.
They won it outright in 51, 49 and 48. That is it. That's all they had to show post-war in the Five Nations.
I was a golden period immediately after the war.
Did nothing in the 90s. Did nothing for the second half of the 80s. Just really poor. Did nothing in the 70s. did nothing in the 60s, and only did a little bit at the back end of the 40s and at the very start of the 50s. So when we say they were sleeping giants and underachievers, I think that is indisputable.
Yeah, it's crazy to think as well, because almost from the moment I started really getting into and watching rugby, Ireland had the best player, in my opinion, or in my eyes, like the best players in the world playing for them, the most exciting player in the world, in Brian O'Driscoll, playing for them. It's crazy to think that he was relatively an anomaly compared to the years before. I'm sure they had plenty of good players in those years, but my word,
he was the poster boy for the Irish Renaissance, wasn't he?
Oh, for sure.
That team that he ends up playing in is obviously stacked, but yeah, Bod was the guy. He was at the front of the cavalry.
It's such an iconic backline essentially that it becomes eventually gets some succce, much awaited success as well.
Yeah.
But it's all built around him.
It is all built
in
around
my
him.
eyes, anyway. In my young eyes,
and I agree. And you need like a talisman like that if you're going to get out of the rut that they were in. I mean, I think one of the things that's most astonishing about the Irish is they have the best win rate without the championships to show for it.
Yeah.
Which just means they were consistently probably coming. And I haven't done the research on this, but that would suggest they were consistently coming second and third in the tournament. If they were just beating people all the time but never getting over the line. And to get over the line, you need some mercurial midfield talent. And Brian O'Driscoll was that guy. New era.
Yeah. It blows my mind to think that there was a world where Ireland weren't a force in world rugby, because they are.
Yeah.
And they have been for so long. At least there or thereabouts, if not one of the great teams. I mean, we keep making the joke that they peak in between World Cup years and then they always go out in the World Cup quarterfinals. And it's not a joke without substance, because that is kind of what happens. But
it is.
The reason it's become a joke is because it's happened so often. They've been so good in 2009, for example, smack bang in the middle of 2007 and 2013, and then presumably going out in the quarterfinals in 2013, and it just becomes this sort of running thing. But they're brilliant, so consistently brilliant.
And those sorts of things become like almost self-fulfilling. You know, like it then becomes a psychological hurdle that one has to overcome. Whereas, you know, until people notice it or until it happens consistently enough, that's just not the case. So it compounds itself effectively.
Yeah, a fair way of putting it.
I guess if we could caveat that for the Irish, and we'll speak on their behalf because that's the point of this episode, what you would say is that maybe the priority, looking at that record in the Five Nation in particular, the priority was, let's get back to winning consistently on a European level before we concern ourselves with world dominance. And you have to say, if it's looked through that lens, it's been a resounding success.
Yeah, certainly has been.
But it did literally...
We await the next step.
It literally all did begin, mate, with the start of the Six Nations. Like we were saying about O'Driscoll's emergence. It was the year 2000.
Crazy.
Like, it's crazy that he announces himself on the international stage in the Stade de France in the first Six Nations tournament. And that coincides perfectly with Irish rugby sort of rising like a phoenix, not from the ashes. That's unfair because it wasn't that bad. We're not talking Scotland here.
It's a little baby-faced 21-year-old.
Yes.
Hat-trick in Paris.
A hattie. First Irish win there since 1972. Like, that's going to endear yourself to the faithful out of the blocks, isn't it? Yeah. Scything people, diving over from close range. I mean, he's like waltzing O'Driscoll, mate, in that Lions tour.
It's like, oh, God.
Which was also...
I love the man.
When was that?
I love the man.
That was 2001? Literally the next year?
2001 was the Wallabies tour that we won. And then 2005 was when he was brutally assaulted.
No, we didn't win him in 2001. We lost 2-1, I think. But O'Driscoll scored a wonder try.
Oh, no, sorry, we did, yes. We won in 97, yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, O'Driscoll was good in 2001 and then brutally assaulted by Umaga in 2005.
Yeah. We haven't forgotten.
All forgiven.
No. I mean, but look, a legend, and we've already, a legend was born. We used legend a lot on the last episode, but a legend was born.
I think this is we were sort of talking in the last episode a bit about why why we care so much about Scotland, for example, because Scotland is supposed to be the old enemy. We're supposed to not like them, yet we've got this passion deep in our hearts and we want them to be good in this strange way. And it has just occurred to me, they're Lions as well.
That's the best thing about it, mate. Like about Lions rugby, and we spoke about that when we did the Lions. I think that is spot on. It's the thing that makes you fall in love with people that aren't from your country.
Yeah. It's like as much as you, over the period of 4 years, as much as you can build up hatred or dislike or whatever, frustration, whatever it might be, against the country or against any individuals, at the end of those 4 years, you have another Lions tour, and it like resets the clock a bit.
Well, also, it pours cold water, like in the case of, say, O'Driscoll, it like pours cold water on any resentment that you might have for his talent, because at the back of the mind, you're like, he's going to be playing for us soon, like as in all of us, not us, the English. Don't worry, Ireland, we're not appropriating you again.
No.
But look,
most past those times.
Yeah. Most championship tries. That's what we're talking about when we're saying he's a legend. Most nominations for player of the tournament was 6. Most wins jointly with 3. Like an actual legend. And he was also part of that Irish team that went to Twickenham in 2004 and handed England a first home loss in 5 years.
Yeah. But it was crazy to think.
Yeah.
Crazy to think you could ever go that long not losing at home.
Yeah. And that wasn't
in
even
modern rugby.
That probably isn't even the biggest Irish victory of that era over England. Arguably 2007 for emotive reasons, poignant reasons.
We've talked about this before a little bit. Was it? Might have even been in the Gaelic football episode, because we were talking about Croke Park, weren't we?
Yes.
Aviva Stadium being built, Lansdowne Road had been demolished. In the meantime, Croke Park, which historically is the home of GAA sports, is the home of Gaelic football and hurling as well. And they very kindly, given the GAA's historic opposition to any sport that wasn't one of theirs, they very kindly allowed the Irish rugby to play there in the meantime. And England had a lot of history related to it. Obviously, Bloody Sunday we talked about during the Gaelic football episode, where English troops opened fire on Irish civilians, and there is absolutely no defence for that. 90 odd years later, go back there and play at Croke Park in the 2007 championship, and probably a good thing really that Ireland absolutely battered us.
Yeah, they did absolutely batter us. I mean, it was a big deal for both nations, but obviously a bigger deal for Ireland for all those reasons. It's not insignificant that England went to play there, but it would have been, with the passage of time, a younger 20-year-old me, or however old I was, would have naturally been disappointed at England getting pasted at the time. But with the passage of time, all wounds heal, and I think it would have been. Yeah. Even I can see.
You get used to losing.
You get used to losing, sure, but like the most hardened England fan can even see like the romance, the appropriateness, the beauty, the importance, arguably, of
the symbolism as well. Yeah,
of Ireland winning that game, like, and when they did, Jesus, like
43-13.
Yeah,
so walloping.
I think that was the first time England conceded 42 points against the Irish. Maybe it was a record defeat for us in 124 years of Championship rugby. Anyway, let's put it that way. At the time, it's since been beaten because we're a bit crap, but
yeah.
But yeah,
it happens.
It was just O'Gara stuff. It was Gordon Darcy stuff. It was the O'Driscoll stuff. Even Shane Shane Horgan, big monster on the wing. Yeah,
I don't think there's a more iconic back seven in the history of the Six Nations, certainly, than the sort of combination around that time. And I don't know how often they play together, as these things are, but like Peter Stringer, Ronan O'Gara, Tommy Bowe, Gordon Darcy, Brian O'Driscoll, Shane Horgan, and Jordan Murphy.
Yeah.
Is there anything more iconic than that? That is just... And again, I don't know if that was actually the lineup in this tournament. Doesn't really matter. Or in that particular game, doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's iconic.
Yeah, it
nevertheless.
Was. I mean, Brian Ashton, who was England's head coach at the time, said that being in the English dressing room afterwards was like being in a mortuary, which I think is probably unnecessary hyperbole, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think all things considered, if you know your history, Brian, maybe that's not the best thing to mention, given the last time
events that
the English were there
that had taken place at said stadium. Yeah, But anyway, look, it's obviously awesome. It's gone down in history. Of course it has. It's still one of those things that just comes up every time you do an England Ireland montage, every time you talk about like history of England and Ireland and rugby and politics, etc., etc. Yeah, you don't get something as definitive as an Ireland whooping of England at Croke Park in a sport that maybe traditionally is rejected by the Republic.
Yeah, can't put it better myself. Perfect.
But yeah, anyway, look, first title, Ireland's first title of that era was 2009. The first title.
First title since 1985.
Oof.
A long time coming.
Was a long time coming. They won a couple of Triple Crowns, 2004, 2006, 2007, but 2009 was when...
They came mightily close as well in 2007. They only lost out on points difference to France on the last day.
Oof.
And they'd walloped Italy by about 27 points, but then France went out and beat Scotland by about 35 points or something like that, and that was enough to win it for them. So narrowly missed out then. So they were
building
there or thereabouts, and obviously O'Driscoll waiting for his first. Then 2009 came along.
2009 came along, yeah, and they beat France in round one in a low scoring and very tight affair. England at Croke Park dispatched again, although this one was a lot closer than the one that we were just talking about. And then Italy and Scotland were dispatched. So that leaves Wales.
Yeah.
And a damn good Wales team as well.
Yeah, a Wales team who had won a Grand Slam of their own the year before. Only thing that stood in the way of Ireland and destiny.
Yeah, 61 years, mate.
61 years is incredible in what would be mostly a 5-team tournament.
Yeah, absolutely insane.
I know obviously they'd won it in the meantime, but a Grand Slam means more.
It does. And they were away in Cardiff.
They were, yeah, Millennium Stadium.
Like,
not an easy place to go.
Yeah.
As you say, Wales at this point had a very good knack of being able to stay in tight games and find a way to win in these games. And
yeah,
they nearly did. They nearly did here.
Well, yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, it was pretty lively affair. I mean, Ireland trailing 6-0 at the half, a couple of Stephen Jones penalties, but sprung into life in the second half when that man again, Bod, and Tommy Bowe with a couple of scores.
Yeah, very early in the half as well. So it looked like it was in the bag, but then Wales just sort of eked their way back into it. Jones penalties,
Stephen
and then
Jones again.
With 4 or 5 minutes on the clock, a Jones drop goal, and it was like stolen. It felt like it'd been stolen from Ireland, but they still had time.
Yeah,
they had 5 minutes left.
Yeah,
maybe less than actually, maybe 4 minutes.
Yeah, well, do you want to tell it? You explain how Ronan stepped up.
It's one of my favourite moments in all Six Nations history. Obviously, Wales have just got their own drop goal. Ireland, as you say, 61 years of history on the line. Very, very high kick-off from O'Gara, puts pressure on. Eventually, Ireland get the ball, recycle it a few times, work their way infield. O'Gara's back in the pocket, trying to get him to a place where he can get a kick-off, knowing that any mistake, any knock-on at this point, game's over. But equally, Wales, knowing if they give away a penalty now under pressure, then they're losing the game as well. About 2 minutes left on the clock, probably ticks over 2 minutes left. And eventually they work their way right in front of the post, spin it back to O'Gara just outside the 22, straight down the middle. Absolutely beautiful. Commentary's great too.
Commentary, yeah. Drop at goal, Grand Slam at stake. He's got it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Stephen Jones had a kick at goal after that as well, didn't he? But it fell short.
I don't actually remember.
Yeah, but nobody cares when you lose. Pandemonium, Grand Slam. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be another 5 years before Ireland won after that. But gee, when they won again, talk about sparking a golden era. 3 titles in 5 years and another slam, I think, were to come.
Yeah, and bear in mind it's a transitionary period as well. We're talking about Brian O'Driscoll all this time. He was there for the first one, but then he retired, stepped away, and for them to obviously keep going after that, keep the levels.
Yeah, it was crazy.
The house that he built, keep it up. Yeah, it was great.
Well, that's it, because I think it was 2014 when O'Driscoll finally said adios. But I think they won the title that year, 2014.
Yeah.
Unless I've got that wrong.
Yeah, it wasn't a Grand Slam, but they won the title.
Yeah, that's it. You're right. Yeah, beaten Scotland, Wales and Italy, but had lost to England. Game 5 was against the French. Herculean defensive effort, 22-20. Hadn't beaten France in Paris since that O'Driscoll debut. So
That's
to clinch,
so good.
Yeah, so to clinch the title there, on points difference from England, probably made the whole thing very sweet indeed. And, movie stuff, movie script stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't write it. You can't write it.
15 was that incredible one, which we've already spoken about.
Yeah, where
the ding
basically, basically everyone could win on the final day.
Yeah. Ended up going Ireland's way again on points difference. I mean, we won't rehearse that. If you want to know more about that final day, then just listen to the first episode of this little Six Nations series. But essentially, it was just an absolute shootout between England, France and Ireland prevailed by like the smallest
England,
points
Wales and
margin.
Ireland.
England, Wales and Ireland. Sorry, Jack, you're right. Because
Yeah.
we were playing the French. That's right. As in England were playing the French. Yeah. And it was just a shootout for the ages and ended up with the smallest points difference victory ever. That was the first time the Irish had retained the title outright since 1949, though. So,
That's again crazy. Absolutely crazy.
yeah. But another like significant point in time that I don't know how much that was really honed in on. I can't really remember, but I don't recall that being sort of championed as such a big deal, but it was.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
Yeah.
It is difficult. It's a difficult competition to win anyway, because obviously, as we mentioned in every episode pretty much so far, so the first episode, everyone's good, or at least there's always a few teams that are good. It is hard to be perfect enough to retain, and it's notable that there's only really been a handful of teams who've retained it. But yeah, 61 years is a long time.
That is a very long time. Yeah. And England would win the next couple of editions, but it would be worth the Irish wait.
Sorry, more than 61 years. 61 was the first one. This is more like, God, what would this be now? 66 years.
But yeah, God, it would be worth the Irish wait for the 2018 tournament after a couple of English wins. I think this is the one that maybe you were looking forward to.
I love drop goals. I know, being English, it's obvious that I love drop goals. I mean, we won a bloody World Cup with a drop goal. Of course I love drop goals. Johnny Wilkinson was a master of the art of drop goals. You don't really see drop goals anymore.
That's true.
And it makes me sad. It's similar to rugby league now. It only really is in a match-deciding situation that you'd see them. And even then, it's probably not... I'm sure they've done their maths and they've done their calculations and they know if you retain possession long enough, you're more likely to win a penalty than you are to hit a drop goal in that situation, probably. You don't really see them anymore. If I could change one thing about rugby scoring, I'd probably make drop goals worth 4 points. Or at least maybe drop goals of a certain distance, 4 points, similar to what they have in Gaelic sports now, where if you score from a certain distance, you get an extra point. That is one thing I might change because I love a drop goal. And I'm talking about this because in round one...
Because you're a huge fan of Yanni de Beer.
Yeah. Oh, God. I hate drop goals. I've changed my mind.
Oh, I know. Death by drop goals followed by dreams by drop goals, followed by Ireland in France, in Paris. Round one. Big game.
So, obviously, no one's probably talking about the Grand Slam yet, but maybe they are. Who knows? But this is, I mean, the clock's been read for 2.5 minutes at this point, and it's 45 metres out. It's literally all or nothing, and it is under that much pressure, from that distance, a supreme kick by the legend, and we're saying it again, that is Johnny Sexton, to win 15-13 in Paris against France. I love it. Such a good moment. I just remember watching that, just like heart pounding, because obviously it's Ireland v France. I want Ireland to win, don't I? And he nails it. It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, and it was significant, like very significant, because Ireland basically swept everyone until the final round when they were facing England. And the class of 18 had a pretty big opportunity. I'm understating this. They had a chance to win a Grand Slam at Twickenham, basically. And England had not lost their previous 14 games at home. So, this sends you straight to legendary status, I think, if you win this game. And they've bloody flew out the blocks, stunned Twickenham. First half tries from Ringrose, CJ Stander, Jacob Stockdale, and a healthy 21-5 lead at the break. A little bit of an English comeback, whatever, didn't amount to anything. Ireland stood firm, and St. Patrick's Day to remember.
I love the fact it's on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
It just makes it so much better.
24-15.
Love it.
The final weekend of the Six Nations often does fall on Paddy's Day.
Yeah, it's always there or thereabouts. I'm guessing it's probably moved forward a week now, has it? No, I don't think it has.
No, because...
Ignore me.
Yeah.
Maybe just started later.
That's it. So, yeah, an Irish slam at Twickenham. I mean, that was their 4th title since 2009. So, yeah, to say that Ireland really came to the fore and that giant was awoken is really very accurate. Took them a little while again to win another one, but then they went back to back in 2023 and 2024. They went back to back, 2023 being another slam.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they are
Doesn't seem that weird anymore.
No.
Like, obviously, when you wait 61 years for the first one and then you get 3 within,
10 years,
14 years.
15 years, yeah.
14, 15 years, yeah.
That's it. That's because they've gone through like a real golden period. They had O'Gara, then Sexton, which is, that's a handing over of a baton.
After we went, we mentioned this the other day when we went Wilkinson,
Toby Flood,
and then every single fly half under the sun. We did end up with Owen Farrell. We can't complain too much, but yeah. But
O'Gara into Sexton is one of the great transitions, isn't it?
Just unfair.
It doesn't...
Just unfair.
Yeah. I mean, we were speaking about before, like, are they over the crest of the hill? They're certainly not at the bottom of it, but I just wonder, have they ridden the wave, this generation?
Well, I mean, it is World Cup year next year, Ben.
Brutal, Jack. But also, not actually unprovoked. You do it to yourselves, Ireland. Just having a quick look here, and they went out of the group stage in 2007. But other than that, every single edition since, oh my God, literally every edition, every single tournament, they've gone out in the quarterfinals, apart from 95, apart from when they went out in the group stage in 2005.
Is that when they lost to Argentina, I think, in the group stage that year?
That's it, yeah.
Unless I'm misremembering.
No, you are not. Argentina topped the group from France and Ireland came third. So, yeah, maybe you're onto something. Maybe. Although the reformatted World Cup might give them a...
I know, I hate it. God, I was biting my tongue not to talk about it. If anyone's listened to this long enough, they'll know my pet peeve is any tournament where third place teams get through, like the best X number of third place teams, and bloody Rugby World Cup now. There's no point in the group stage anymore. 16 out of 24 teams are getting through the group stage. What it used to be, it used to be 8 out of 20.
Yeah.
Lovely ratio, 8 out of 20. Beautiful. Perfect ratio.
It's all about the ratios. But Ireland won't be complaining.
Like the NBA now.
If they make a semis.
No, I mean, they're probably going to win a knockout game.
Yeah.
At least one, and then they'll get knocked out in the quarterfinals. It'll be fun.
Well, they've still got some big dogs kicking around. I mean, Jamison Gibson Park obviously handed it to us at the weekend.
Yeah.
Gary Ringrose is still there. James Lowe's still there. Tyke Byrne. Dan Sheehan is one of my favourite players. The hooker, who's incredible. Yeah, so look, it's just, I don't know, can they solve the number 10 conundrum? Crowley play very well against us. Prendergast doesn't look like he can tackle.
It's only conundrum because they've not had this bloody conundrum for about 20 years.
Yes, well, exactly.
Because they were so fortunate in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny Sexton retired in 2023 and they won again in 2024, so can't be that much of a conundrum.
Well, 2 years.
It's all relative, isn't it?
2 years ago now. That, I don't know, 2 years is a long time at the top of professional sport when you're in your 30s, isn't it? And they've got quite a few guys in and around that age bracket. But look, they also have a factory of talent out of Dublin these days because of the way they've reformed their domestic game at the expense of the likes of Munster, arguably. Connacht, Ulster really suffered as a result, but Leinster are very, very strong. So they've probably got some kid coming through who we've never heard of who's going to be unbelievable. That's what the Irish tend to do. It all started with Brian O'Driscoll. It's not ended since.
There's probably Irish people shouting at us for that interpretation, but that's certainly how we saw it.
Oh, look.
He happened to come along just as we started loving the sport.
Yeah, look, obviously we're looking at it through the prism of the Six Nations and the prism of...
being 11 years old.
Yeah, exactly. But, there is a direct correlation between their recent success, the emergence of Brian O'Driscoll, the reform of the Irish system, the production of players like Paul O'Connell, like Keith Wood, Rory Best, Cian Healy, Peter O'Mahony, that didn't happen in a vacuum, and it wasn't by chance. So, all power to him. See if he can do it on the biggest stage of them all next year. And
I mean, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd love to see it. It's kind of funny when they go out in the quarters, but sorry, Ireland, but it's true.
Yeah, but it's either them or South Africa, isn't it?
Well, if you're giving me that choice, I'm picking the Irish all day.
There's only one shade of green for me, or France. That's the other alternative.
Oh, but I've got allegiances there now.
Oh, of course you do. Yeah, my mistake.
So look, it's Ireland. It's the Six Nations. They're on track to come second again. I'll say second again. Reclaim second from the English because they've beaten Italy. They've beaten England. They're playing Scotland at home. And I think they have Wales away on the last weekend. So, yeah, unless France balls it all up, probably second for the Irish. But hopefully...
You never know.
Hopefully we've paid good lip service to, not their dominance, but their contribution to some very good editions of the Six Nations over the last 26 years.
Yeah, certainly memorable, and I've enjoyed watching them. I always enjoyed watching them, and I very much enjoyed them lending their players to the Lions as well. Invariably. Now everyone gets to listen to us talk about England. Which, again, given our history about talking about England national teams or England associations, whatever it might be, probably isn't going to be wholly positive.
If you're Welsh, Irish, Italian or Scottish, and you think that we haven't completely cocked up on your nation's episodes, do come back for England because you'll actually be pleasantly surprised. If you want to know what we can be like when we've got a bee in our bonnet or are upset about the state of English sport in general, just have a listen to one of our football episodes on say the FA Cup or the Champions League or the football pyramid because I don't know, it's not going to be an England loving, let's put it that way.
No, I mean we're nothing if not self-loathing, ultimately.
Yeah, you got to have a national identity. Right, England next then. Well done, Ireland, for smashing us again, and hopefully,
joke's on you. We're used to it.
Yeah, hopefully you've done your proud nation some sort of service.
Yeah, that's all we can do. Try our best.
Right. Let's leave it there, and see you for some whinging on the next one.
I can't wait. See you there.
Bye, mate.
Bye. Thank you for joining us for our Six Nations series today. We hope you enjoyed what you heard. If you did and want to help out, a like, subscribe, comment or share would be amazing. But above all, tell a friend and spread the word. Thank you very much. Our theme tune is Oh Yeah by Harmony Productions. You can find us on Insta and Blue Sky at The Sporting Almanac. Or if you've got any ideas for future episodes or any good stories, drop us an email at sportingalmanacpodcast@gmail.com. We'll see you for the next episode. We hope you enjoy the Six Nations until then. And don't forget, sport is nothing without the history that makes it. Goodbye.